Hello. In this video we are going to demonstrate how to enter results and handle the various scenarios that may arise during a season with regard to results entry. We will cover selecting teams, selecting players, changing fixture information, entering scores, demonstrating the 3 available score entry methods, the rule violation engine, handling forfeited sets or matches, handling conceded or walkover sets. For the purpose of this video, we will be using a demonstration league within the Senior British League website. So let's get started. First, ensure you have the correct league instance selected. Click Enter Results. You will see a number of filters. We will discuss these in more detail later, but for now we need to choose the division to enter the results in. Click Add Result. You are now presented with the match card entry page. Here are a few things you need to know before starting. To make match card entry as fast and responsive as possible, we employ a web technology called Ajax. Ajax enables us to save every change you make as you make it, so there is no need for clicking save during the results entry process. It is important that you are using a modern web browser, so if you have been prompted by our system to upgrade your browser, it is essential that you have done this before attempting to use match card entry. In addition to the speed benefits this technology offers, it also means you can enter scorecards partially and come back at a later date to complete them. Okay, so let's look at how you enter a match card. The home team drop-down is pre-populated with a list of teams. Select a home team. Select an away team. Next, select the players as per your match card. Let's take a look at the fixture details now. The fixture date is the date the match was played. It will be pre-populated with the scheduled date, but if the match was played on a different date, you can update it here. Some leagues use a fixture time. When this is the case, a time field will be shown. Again, populate this with the time the fixture started. The card received field will only show if your league makes use of the feature for fining teams for late card entry. If you use this facility, it is important to enter the date the card was received. We set the initial date to the current date automatically. However, if you are not entering the card on the day of receipt, it is important that you provide the true received date. Finally, the match number is shown in a drop-down. If your league runs on a format which means the same fixture combination is possible more than once, the drop-down will have all uncompleted fixtures for the chosen match combination available for you to choose from. This is particularly common when selecting a fixture template that plays 3 or 4 times per season. Okay, so now we need to enter the scores. Note, when we enter the scores, if we enter the lower score first, the system will populate the opposing score box. The only time this won't happen is when the score is deuce, as witnessed in the last game. You will see that there are 3 methods of score entry. We just use the default method, so let's take a look at the shorthand method. The final entry method is called Quick. Notice that this method allows you to enter scores into text boxes rather than using a drop-down. If you are more comfortable working with the keyboard, you can quickly enter scores by entering a score and tabbing to the next box. Continue now until the match card is populated. If your league has doubles, you will need to select the players, then complete the scores, as already demonstrated. When selecting doubles, the drop-down will be populated with all the players that are eligible to play. You can control who is eligible to play using the league options. So, if you allow any registered team player, as long as you have set up your league options correctly, their name will be selectable. Select the doubles players and then enter the final score to complete the match card. When the match card is complete, click Next. The final step is to finalise your match card. Note, on this match card there were no rule violations. To complete the card, all we need to do is click Finalise. The match card is now finalised and live on the website. We are now back on the results list, so let's take a look at some of the features of this screen. You can filter the list by team or by club. As previously mentioned, changes are saved as soon as you make them, so it is possible you may have match cards that are unfinished. You can use the completed filter to identify them quickly. Finally, there is a filter for match cards with rule violations. A rule violation is where there was something wrong with the card when it was processed. A good example of a rule violation is when you have an unpaid player. If you have set the league options correctly, the system will detect that a player is ineligible and will flag the violation on the finalise screen. You can use the Has Rule Violations filter to identify match cards with violations. Okay, so let's take a look at how you should handle one of these violations. We have a match card that has a rule violation on it. Let's open it up. As you can see, everything looks fine. All aspects of the card have been entered correctly. The score is 10-0 to Sycamore. Click Next and we will see the Finalise screen. This time the card has a violation. Let's take a closer look at it. In this scenario, Dad Fishman is one of our dummy members and is currently unpaid. You can see that Dad Fishman has been forfeited for being an unpaid member of the ETTA. As a result, all his sets have been awarded to his opponents and the match score has changed. However, what happens if there is a genuine reason why Dad Fishman is showing as unpaid? If this scenario was to present itself, you would need a way to override the forfeit. Note the Apply Rule tick box. Whether the rule is applied on Finalise is dependent on the state of this checkbox. Red icons and a tick in the Apply Rule checkbox means the rule will be applied when you finalise. However, if you wanted to override the rule violation, untick the rule and click Revalidate. Note the rule violation icon has changed to green and the checkbox is no longer ticked. Also note, Dad Fishman's sets have no longer been awarded to his opponents and the match score is now back to the original 10-0 scoreline. Clicking Finalise now will save the match card without applying the rule violation. Overriding rule violations should not be taken lightly. The only reason the violation is showing is because when you set the league up, you told the system that the scenario that has just occurred should be treated as a violation. In order to override rule violations, you need a minimum permission level of league administrator. A simple match secretary or league manager role does not have access to this ability by design. If you need to give a match secretary or league manager role this facility, you should award them the specific admin permission for results entry. Do not make them a league administrator. If you are in doubt, contact Table Tennis 365 support. The rule violation engine is extremely powerful and can be configured to handle various rules. How you enforce those rules, and finally who has permissions to override them. You are advised to make sure you have a full understanding of how the engine works before starting to enter match cards. Okay, let's take a look now at how you handle a match card where one or more players are missing. In this scenario, Barrow has one player short. So the way to handle this is to choose forfeit from the player menu. Notice that all matches against the forfeit are automatically completed as 11-0 walkovers. Complete the rest of the match card as normal. In the scenario for a forfeited match, simply select all forfeit players and the entire card will be auto-completed. There is a league option that governs what happens to the player averages when a player is awarded a match against a forfeit player, so we suggest you review our tutorial on league options. Finally, a scenario that will arise from time to time is what happens when a player is injured during a match or is unable to complete the remainder of their matches. First, let's consider some terminology. When a player starts a game with another player and fails to complete it to a conclusion, the set is considered to be conceded. When a player turned up on the night but for some reason is unable to play all of his matches, perhaps because of an injury earlier in the night, this is considered to be a walkover. For clarity, a walkover is when the player never starts the individual match with his opponent. It is important to know the difference and why we require the distinction. In league options, you can specify to treat these two scenarios differently for the purpose of averages and ranking calculations. Again, you are advised to refer to the league options tutorial. Let's take a look at how we handle this scenario. When you need to apply a scratch to a set, hover your mouse over the player name. Notice the red S icon appear. Click on it and you will see a pop-up menu. Select the scratch type and provide a reason. Reasons are important as they are displayed on the website and help players understand why the set was scratched. Click Save. Note that the set is now completed for you. In the rare scenario where the set did not take place, you can scratch both players. Click Scratch for the alternate opponent and again complete the pop-up window. Notice how the game scores now show 0-0 and the set score is considered void. This is a rare occurrence but can happen occasionally. You can undo a scratch at any time by hovering over the player name and clicking the D icon. That concludes this tutorial. We hope you have found it informative. Thank you.